A big announcement from UW system officials about when they plan to end mask mandates. And Russia says it's removing troops from the Ukrainian border, but U.S. and allied officials say that doesn't seem to be true. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. We're going to begin with the Beloit police issuing a warrant for the suspect in a deadly shooting at Beloit Memorial High School. 19-year-old Amory Goodall of Madison is charged with first-degree reckless homicide. He is not in custody, and police do not have a picture of him. Police say Goodall allegedly shot 19-year-old Gian Broomfield on January 29th in the school parking lot after a basketball game. Broomfield later died of his injuries. Anyone with information on Goodall's whereabouts urged to call police. UW system officials say mandatory mask requirements will be removed by spring break. System President Tommy Thompson says he'll work with chancellors to remove the mandates as early as March 1st. The announcement comes as COVID case rates continue to decline across the state. UW-Madison has not yet announced any changes to its policy. More than 50 million households have received their free home COVID tests from the federal government. The Biden administration announced in December it bought 500 million at-home COVID-19 tests to be mailed to Americans. The administration is now asking the testing industry for ideas on how to sustain and expand the market going forward. The White House says tests will be needed to interrupt coronavirus spread long term. And the Biden administration is also asking lawmakers for more money to continue fighting the pandemic. The White House is asking for an additional $30 billion for COVID vaccines, treatments, testing, and other preparedness measures. So far, the Biden administration has used more than 90% of the coronavirus funding authorized by Congress through the American Rescue Plan last year. Let's head to the Weather Center now. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Warm but windy out there.
Warm but windy exactly is what we're expecting for us throughout the rest of our Wednesday. But as we can see, taking a look ahead, well, we are going to see some of that rain starting to roll in for us. That's right, rain in February, as we're going to be holding on to those 40s throughout the rest of our afternoon. But the winds will start to taper off just a little bit, but we could be seeing those teens in miles per hour throughout the rest of today, as light rainfall is trying to make its way into southern Wisconsin, especially for some areas into Dane County. We are still looking for a pretty mild day ahead, even though we can see into the far northwest some of that colder air is starting to inch its way closer into southern Wisconsin, as we are holding on to those 40s to start off the noon hour. We're not going to be seeing too much of it throughout the rest of the afternoon. Wind speeds are very breezy over in Monroe with 22 miles per hour and 17 miles per hour in Janesville, but for us in Madison, onto the lighter side as we're going into the rest of the noon hour. But the temperatures once again are going to steady drop into the 30s as we approach the rest of this afternoon and going into this evening. But we'll have more details of what else to expect coming up in a few moments. Until then, let's toss it back to you, Mark.
All right, Julian, we'll see you then. Thank you. UW Health is raising the minimum wage. Beginning in May, the healthcare provider's lowest pay rate will rise from $15 to $17 an hour. The change affects over 20% of hospital staff. Leaders hope the move will serve as an incentive for more people to work at the hospital. One person was injured after a crash in Middleton early this morning. Police responded to the scene at the intersection of Park Street and University Avenue. Officials say one of the drivers is facing an OWI charge. One person was hospitalized in the crash. Their condition is unknown. A gas tanker goes up in flames after it overturns into a building in Rockville Center, New York. It happened early this morning. Officials say the truck driver was rushed to the hospital along with 2 firefighters. Roughly 13,000 gallons of gasoline was spilled onto the street.
When I came here, there was fire everywhere in the street, the tanker, the 2 buildings, and when I looked down Sunrise Highway, there was fire coming out of 7 or 8 manhole covers all the way down to the underpass, about a quarter mile down the road at Sunrise Highway. It's one of the worst things I've seen in my 47-year career.
Hazmat teams are now helping clean up the scene. The U.S. says Russia has amassed more than 150,000 soldiers near Ukraine's borders, and those forces are prepared to attack at any moment. But Russia is denying it plans to attack and says those forces have been participating in military exercises, which are coming to an end. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
Russia says more of its forces are pulling back from Ukraine's borders, but the U.S. and allies are skeptical, saying they see continued signs of troop buildup.
Our concern is that the troops that matter, those that are ringing Ukraine to the north, to the east, and to the south, are actually increasing their readiness.
President Biden is talking today with Germany's chancellor, one day after Olaf Scholz met with Russian President Vladimir Putin. While diplomacy is still the hope, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is in Belgium for meetings with NATO.
NATO is not a threat to Russia, and we remain ready to engage in dialogue and find a diplomatic way forward. But while we continue to work for the best, we must also be prepared for the worst.
Russian aggression is the topic of a hearing on Capitol Hill today. Lawmakers and the administration say the threat extends beyond Europe.
If an authoritarian leader anywhere in the world is able to invade their neighbor and take them over by force and deny them sovereignty, then this won't end at Ukraine. It'll happen all around the world.
The State Department says China, North Korea, Iran, and other authoritarian governments are watching. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Ukraine saw cyber attacks on its defense ministry and two big banks yesterday. Many analysts say that's exactly what would happen prior to troops moving across the border. Both the U.S. and Ukraine have stopped short of pinning those attacks on Russia, but it remains the #1 suspect. The Kremlin denies any link to the cyber attacks. President Biden is rejecting a request by former President Trump to block White House visitor logs from the January 6th committee. White House counsel Dana Ramos wrote to the National Archives that Biden determined executive privilege is, quote, not in the best interest of the United States and therefore is not justified. There's no word on how detailed those logs were or what they could reveal to the committee. It was an exciting day for the U.S. ski team as Americans finished first and second in the men's slope-style skiing. Free skiers Alex Hall and Nick Graper took home the medals. A first for 23-year-old Hall, who landed the most insane trick of the day to help him win the gold. Later, the U.S. men's hockey team lost a 2-1 lead in the quarterfinals against Slovakia. The women's team, however, is still in the fight, playing Canada tonight for the gold. Veteran forward Hillary Knight says she's been looking forward to this for months.
I think that's the level of respect that both of our teams have for one another. Is like, we're gearing up. It's going to be a good game. Like, let's get ready for it.
This will be the 6th gold medal game between the U.S. and Canada. Last time in Pyeongchang, Team USA won it in a shootout. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon.
Consumers kick off the new year with a spending spree, and time to book your seat on the latest venture to outer space. I'm Diane King Hall at the CBS Broadcast Center. I'll have those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.
You're watching News 3. Stop in and save with everything you need for your home right now at Menards. Update your appliances and save. Spruce up your home with appliances from top brands including Whirlpool, Amana, KitchenAid, Maytag, and Criterion. Check out the largest in-stock selection to take home today at the lowest prices. Upgrade to new energy-efficient appliances and save big money on all of them during Menards' Race to Saving Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
It's Steinhaffel's biggest President's Day sale ever. Save 35 to 55% off throughout the entire store. Plus, get great bonus buys like this 5-piece dining set, only $2.99. A rocker recliner, also $2.99. Your choice Beauty Rest full or queen mattress, just $3.99. Or this Chase sofa, now $8.49. A queen storage bed, only $16.89. All this and so much more. It's Steinhaffel's biggest President's Day sale ever. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Another injury claim.
Another denial.
What's the status of that car accident?
Denied it this morning.
Good. Not a fan of paying high medical bills.
Our doctor totally came through.
Good. Let's make sure we do the same thing on the next one.
Denying. It's what we do.
They called the law offices of Huppy and Abraham.
Should we settle this one?
Call Huppy and Abraham right now. Tell the insurance company you mean business.
Why would Stanton Optical choose a spokesbird? They're not your typical eye care company. I'm not your typical penguin. We're a team. There's no I in eye care. Wait.
Get 2 pairs of glasses plus a free eye exam, anti-glare lenses, and same-day service for only $79.
Your senator is working with Donald Trump to take away your right to vote.
That's exactly what Ron Johnson is doing. It's why we must pass the Freedom to Vote Act.
With the Bucks, Alex Lasry took a stand.
Alex Lasry has used his power to expand voting rights.
I'll be a senator about action, not talk. We need to protect voting rights.
What makes him tick is his love and respect for people.
Equity and justice make us stronger. Alex gets it done.
I'm Alex Lasry, and I approve this message.
A spending snapback, according to the Commerce Department. Retail sales rose 3.8% last month. That was much better than expected and a bounce back from a sharp drop in December. Online shopping helped the most, with consumers loading up virtual carts. Furniture sales also gave a boost. Housing costs are soaring to new records. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, the average home loan now stands at $453,000, and the average contract interest rate for a 30-year fixed home loan topped 4%, as home buyers face off with one of the most expensive housing markets in years. Demand for loans is falling. Mortgage applications fell 1% last week. Airbnb is betting on a strong travel year ahead. The home rental site says it earned $55 million in the fourth quarter as people snapped up rentals for the holidays. Sales shot up 78% from 2020 to $1.5 billion, and it is forecasting a boom in travel this year. And are you ready for a trip to the stars? Virgin Galactic says starting today, tickets are on sale to the public for its 90-minute trip to outer space. It takes you high above Earth for an out-of-this-world experience, but it's not cheap. A ticket costs $450,000 with a $150,000 deposit required. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. Let's check Wall Street. The Dow is down 343 points. The NASDAQ off 195. The S&P 500 down 28. Well, America's gaming industry had a record-breaking year in 2021. Gambling and gaming brought in a whopping $53 billion in revenue, breaking the previous record by more than 20%. Industry specialists saw a massive increase in sports betting, online gambling, and traditional brick-and-mortar gaming at casinos. About 33 states and the District of Columbia legalized gambling in 2018. 23 of them saw a boost in profits this year. Well, a survey from T. Rowe Price finds 47% of parents spoke to their kids about money at least once a week last year. That's up from 35% in 2017. Naomi Ruckham takes a look at how and when to start having those important conversations.
This is what's inside my wallet.
Second grader Gavin upgraded his piggy bank to a new Sonic the Hedgehog wallet, and his mom is helping him better understand what it means to save money.
Would you rather have 2 candy bars right now or $100 tomorrow?
$100.
Gavin is 7, the age when money habits start to form, according to CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
You also want to give the concept of free versus what something costs, right? It's free to go play with your friend. It costs money to go buy a toy.
She also suggests parents who give an allowance separate it from chores.
Your kids should just do their chores. They're part of your household. I think an allowance should be based on something that you say to your kids, hey, you know what? I would buy you these things. They are frivolous things. They're fun things. And I'm going to give you the money to make those choices.
In the teen years, Schlesinger says money conversations should be about college costs and saving for it, along with understanding credit cards and debt. Young adults should focus on budgeting, student loan repayment, and monitoring their credit score every year.
You can spend this amount of money and that's your budget.
10-year-old Lucy is already thinking about college.
Isn't like some colleges like kind of like less money, like, and then maybe like a really good college would be like $1 million.
She likely won't need $1 million, but Lucy says her parents want her to start saving now. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Well, still ahead on News 3 Now at noon, Pam Yankee has your daily farm numbers. Plus, it's going to be wet and rainy throughout the day. Julian has your complete forecast after the break.
Don't miss the biggest mattress sale this weekend. The Mattress Marathon is at Ashley's biggest President's Day sale. Get the guaranteed best offer at Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer. Plus, save up to 65% off doorbusters like these. Only at Ashley.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet, commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, that moment when we see a patient smile is everything to us. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we're here to help you. Go ahead and smile.
Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile.
This weekend only, get our very best deals of the season, including doorbusters up to 65% off. Plus, take bonus holiday discounts off our sale prices in-store and online, and interest-free financing for 5 years. The biggest President's Day sale in Wisconsin is on now at Ashley.
Is it safe to drop your mask when Dane County's mandate ends? Our health expert weighs in. And we've got hairspray tickets for our question of the day winner.
Plus another storm missing to the south, but we're still tracking who sees what tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
Her love for sled dog racing led her from Alaska's Iditarod to a successful children's book series.
The sled dogs really teach us about life.
Her next chapter, straight out of the movies. Charlotte Deleste visits the Musher Mama, Thursday on News 3 Now at 6. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
And let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Windy, but warm.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, probably a little too warm for some folks. Remember, this is the time of the year when normally we'd be busy with maple syrup tapping. Now, because the industry has got to be watching these weather fluctuations, a lot of our maple syrup producers started tapping maybe almost a month ago. I know that my assistant, Stephanie Hoffs, visiting the McKenzie Center up by North Arlington, they are going to be doing some tapping. But like I said, this weather, if it keeps staying this warm, which we may really enjoy, it could shorten up our maple syrup season for this year. You know, the governor made his State of the State address last night, but business is far from done down at the state capitol. In fact, we're going to continue, remember, into March, and there's two key pieces of legislation Wisconsin Agriculture wants to see action on, both of them related to nitrates in the state of Wisconsin. One of them, AB 727, Senate Bill 677, would provide over $3 million in state money over the biennium for farmer-led pilot programs to take a look at nitrogen optimization on the farm. Would also fund a state hydrologist, or I should say hydrogeologist, and also provide $5 per acre back on cover crop inclusion in planting schemes. So kind of an interesting development that we're watching to see if they're going to be able to take action before the session wraps in March. Remember, if they don't get it done, basically they start all over again. Talking about dairy today, dairy is down substantially. Both our fluid milk contracts and our product prices. They got a global dairy trade report yesterday that showed New Zealand and Australia, the latest to join in areas of the world that are down on milk production. Both Australia and New Zealand down better than 1 percentage point in milk production for the month of December. Of course, they primarily serve that Oceania, which would include China. Barrel cheese Barrel cheese today down 3 at $1.92. 40-pound black cheese down 3/4 cent at $1.98 1/4. Even our butter gave it up today, down 6 cents at $2.80 a pound. But yeah, like you said, it's a little overcast for my taste with this kind of warm weather. But the snow is melting.
Yeah, it's February 16th. Keep that in mind.
I know.
All right, Pam, thank you. We'll enjoy the mild weather for now because we're dropping back below freezing in the next few days. Here's Julian with your complete forecast.
That's right. Today is quite a peculiar day as we're looking at our high, which we've already had so far, at 46 degrees for us throughout the afternoon. We are going to start to see that steady decline now from here on out as we approach the rest of our day. But as you can see, normally around this time, it's February 16th, and it's usually 31 degrees. It just goes to show you how much warmer it is for our February. And on top of that, it's been relatively dry this entire winter. We've only seen about 16 inches of snow around Dane County in itself, but we can see those temperatures are really the big story for us. 40 degrees temperatures throughout all of southern Wisconsin. However, we can see to our friends into the northwest, that's where the colder air is going to be coming in as we go into the later part of tonight. As you can see, they're already into the 30s, and we're just going to be on to a steady decline as we continue throughout the next few hours. Our last 24 hours, we've seen some significant changes in terms of temperatures. Warmer by about 14 to 15 degrees throughout much of us, about 10 degrees warmer at least throughout southern Wisconsin. However, we also can see that the trend is starting to change up a bit as it has been breezy throughout the course of this morning, but now as we're into the afternoon, the winds to the west and around Dane County have died off, but you can take note, areas into the southeast from Monroe all the way over to Milwaukee and Kenosha area are where we're seeing those stronger winds into the 20 miles per hour range as we continue throughout the rest of this afternoon. And planning out the rest of today, just know temperatures are going to steady decline. We're going to be into those lower 40s by 4 p.m. and as that system rolls in to be bringing in some more rain for us, we're just going to be cooling down even more so with that mixture coming in around dinner time. But as of right now, we are still looking on the drier end. If you're seeing any kind of light rainfall, it's just light rain that we're seeing around Dane County for us as we're continuing throughout. But that will start to collect itself and be a bit more organized as we get into the later part of this afternoon. But then it's going to, once again, this system and the storm is going to be shifting and staying into the southeast. So we're not even going to be seeing that much in terms of rain around Dane County. It's mainly going to be in areas near Rock County and to the southeast throughout the course of this entire event. Now, as we get into tonight, we're going to see those temperatures start to drop and then transition itself into some freezing rain and some light snow. So we could see some flurries, some light snow around Dane County, especially areas into the southern border. But for the most part, it's going to be pretty dry for us. And once again, the system in itself is going to be missing us. But as we go into our Thursday afternoon, we could be seeing some light flurries that want to make its way into the southeast of Dane County and even into Wisconsin once again. But in terms of everything else, we're not going to be looking at much in terms of precipitation for us here in southern Wisconsin. But just take notes around the 5 p.m. commute. Could see some slick spots, especially for areas to the south. But on top of that, enjoy the 40s while we have it, because colder air is definitely going to be entering its way going into Thursday and for our Friday as well. And we'll see that for our 10-day forecast. We're going to be transitioning into some colder conditions, but we're not going to be into the average around this time of year until we get into about next week. Usually we're into the lower 30s, but even for Sunday, we're back to more mild temperatures around 47 degrees. This weekend's going to be quiet, but we are keeping an eye on a potential system welcoming us into next week, Mark. But as of right now, we are just going to, I guess we're not having any luck in terms of getting snow this winter.
Yeah, if you're liking snow, it's head south.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, Howard is showing some professional tips for a basic baking operation in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
There are many ways to frost a cake, and today I want to share a few tips and a recipe that'll make you a whiz.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed? Just $89.
We know car accidents happen every day. Unfortunately, many of us don't know our rights when it happens to us. Victims often settle too soon and can't cover medical bills or long-term effects from the accident. Contact the personal injury attorneys at Gingras, Thompson & Walks for a free consultation if you've suffered injury or loss due to a car accident. GTW attorneys are consistently recognized as the best and have won some of the biggest settlements and awards for their clients. Gingras, Thompson & Walks.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
If you stutter on the phone, speech-to-speech is for you.
Hi, Nihada. This is Andy Smith, and I was calling to see if our home loan has been approved.
A specially trained operator revoices a conversation to the person on the other end of the line.
Hi, Nihada. This is Andy Smith, and I was calling to see if our home loan has been approved.
Oh, Andy, we have great news. You've been approved for the full amount.
To learn more about speech-to-speech relay service, go to wisconsinrelay.com.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed, just $89.
Recently, I was asked, what is the best way to frost a cake? So today, I want to share a few tips to help you out, along with recipes for a homemade chocolate cake and fudgy frosting. First, make sure that your cake is completely cooled before frosting it. So put it on a cooling rack after it comes out of the oven. Then place one layer on a platter. Tuck pieces of wax paper around the bottom. This allows us to frost all the way to the bottom of our cake without messing up our platter. Now we top it with some icing and put the other layer of cake on top. We place this on a Lazy Susan. This way, we can easily get to all sides of the cake with little effort. At this point, we smear it with a thin layer of frosting using an offset spatula, which looks like this, and we'll let that set up in the fridge. This is called a crumb coat, so don't worry if you get crumbs in your frosting at this point. Then, all we do is frost it one more time over our crumb coat, and we end up with perfect results every time. So to get you going, let me share a scratch cake and frosting so you can try out your newfound skills. Let me tell you, I think this is one of the best chocolate cakes we've ever made. To get the recipe for our double chocolate layer cake, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a picture-perfect way for you to say,
ooh, it's so good. All right, guys, thank you. Here's Julian. One final check of your forecast.
Well, the three things we're going to need to know as we break down our forecast is that we are going to be looking at a mild day throughout the rest of today, even though temperatures will start to drop as we get into around the dinner time hour. Aside from that, mostly rain for this evening, and we could see that mix come in for tonight, and that snow is going to be keeping its way into southern areas, mainly into the southeast, which could potentially see about 1 to 2 inches of snow once this event is all said and done. Aside from that, colder temperatures for Thursday and Friday into our Saturday, but we're going back to the mild conditions heading into Sunday and for next week as well, as we're keeping an eye on another system that could be bringing in precipitation for us. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you at 4.